Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope all of you are enjoying a beautiful Tuesday evening, at least here in Western Pennsylvania. We are approaching 48 hours out from kickoff between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. That highly anticipated game quickly approaching. There is tons to talk about leading up to that game. We are going to start with what happened today at the Steelers facility. Coaches and players spoke, what all they had to say we will break down. But before that, actually, there's a bit of news about one of the Steelers coordinators that could have massive implications, possibly heading into next season. We will start with that, get into the practice and the players talking today, and then any extra Pittsburgh sports news on any of the three professional Pittsburgh sports teams we will get to in the second half of the show. Before we officially get things going here today, if you are new here, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button so that you never miss when we are live or upload a video again here on the channel. Up to 599, and there it is right there. Someone just came in right before we went live. 600 subscribers here on the channel. Want to thank every single one of you who have subscribed up to this point. Going to type this in a banner right now and get that out up there on the screen for you. Thank you very much to the new subscribers over the past 24 hours. I believe when we wrapped up last night, we were at 596, and now we are up to 600 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who have hit that button up until this point throughout this journey here on the channel. I appreciate that. Also, go ahead, hit the like button, share this live stream, and leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, get those in there. One commenter who was here yesterday, Tyrone Keaton. Welcome back, Tyrone. Glad to have you here as always. Going to get right into it today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for 600 subscribers. Going to get right into it, talking mainly about the Pittsburgh Steelers again here this evening. And we are going to start talking about the coaching staff. Mike Tomlin, he had his press conference yesterday. There was lots of news out of that, mainly the big takeaway, him taking a shot at Cleveland Browns general manager Andrew Berry. So that was real fun to cover yesterday. Steelers defensive coordinator Teryl Austin, he had a couple of things to say as well, talking about some guys on his defense and how the team will be preparing to take on Joe Flacco and the Bengals coming up on Thursday night. But aside from those two, we're going to start talking about Arthur Smith today. He spoke as well, but that is not the main story around him today. According to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, he and Adam Schefter, the two top dogs in the insider game in the NFL. Rappaport, I believe this was last night after the Tennessee Titans fired their head coach, Brian Callahan. Rappaport coming in with two early candidates that could be in consideration for the Tennessee Titans' vacant head coaching job. In one of those, offensive coordinator, former Chicago Bears head coach Matt Nagy, current OC with the Chiefs, and Steelers offensive coordinator, former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and former OC at the Tennessee Titans, Arthur Smith. Rappaport putting out there that a reunion between Smith and the Titans could be possible. Honestly, would not surprise me. Smith came here 2 years ago, and last year's offense was last year's offense with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. This year with Aaron Rodgers, the offense, it has clicked on a different level. Really, they are in sync right now, developing a ton of rhythm. The running game has quickly developed over the past handful of games. The passing attack, it has been there since day one, mainly the connection between Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. Tons of analysts and former NFL coaches and players have had lofty praises of Arthur Smith and the Steelers offense. Bruce Arians, former coach for the Steelers, he said today on the Pat McAfee show that the Pittsburgh Steelers are really growing on him. He loves what Arthur Smith is doing. Yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, again, ESPN analyst and former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky, who had probably the most freezing cold take of all time, saying that Smith and Aaron Rodgers, they are leading a group, and of course they are helping the offensive line develop. The running game's coming along. The passing game is having some good plays right now. It's scary, and it should be feared by opposing defense, the Steelers offense right now. So Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers, but Smith, glad to see he hasn't been forgotten in the success of the offense so far this year. He is getting tons of praise around the league right now. And now, as you see there, Ian Rappaport saying that Smith could be a head coaching candidate for the Tennessee Titans going back to Nashville. You could see, some good things, some good reasons why he would be in the lead for that job. Just not even 24 hours after Brian Callahan got fired. Of course, Smith, he's been there before down there in Tennessee. He knows what the fan base and what the the organization is like. He's had head coach experience now, 3 years with the Atlanta Falcons before coming here to Pittsburgh. And his scheme, I think they're saying, I think we can still call it quarterback friendly. I mean, it kind of worked there for a tiny bit with the 2 quarterbacks from last year, but this year with Aaron Rodgers, it has been working. So QB friendly scheme that Arthur Smith brings. I'm sure the Titans, they would love to get that into their organization with Cam Ward there. So Smith, I think we saw the writing on the wall the day that he was brought in here as Steelers offensive coordinator. He wasn't one of these new hot shot coordinators from the, or not too invested in the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, those, coaching trees. The Steelers, they brought in a proven guy as an offensive coordinator who is coming off of a rough gig with the Atlanta Falcons. And now after, a year and a half now, it's going to be 2 years by the time the season's over, of, getting your mojo back, still staying active in football, getting some good tape and good reputation out there on you as a coach. Would not be surprised if Smith is not only a candidate for the Titans job, but also, any other vacancies that come along the way. You would expect that teams like the Miami Dolphins, they would be, that head coaching spot would be vacant by the end of the year. Maybe New Orleans. I think they just hired Kellen Moore, the Eagles, former OC there, but who knows how long that's going to be. Out in Arizona, Gannon, their head coach, Pete Carroll, new head coach with the Vegas Raiders. Is Carroll, after, this season from hell for Las Vegas, is he going to want to go through a rebuild with that team? Who knows? So Arthur Smith, right now, according to Ian Rappaport, one of 2 early candidates for that head coaching vacancy down there in Nashville with Matt Nagy. We will see what comes of it. If, the Titans or any other team come calling the Steelers' way asking for interviews, we will monitor that as we roll on here. To the comment section we go real quick before we continue on. Some more familiar faces in here right now. Flacco, welcome back. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe on your way in. Made it to 600 subscribers here on the channel. And thank you right there, Flacco, coming in with a $10 contribution. 600 subscribers on the channel. Flacco, you've been here pretty much since day one. Appreciate you, Tyrone. Appreciate you all that have helped us reach 600 subscribers here on the channel. Derpy Entertainment, he's been here a while as well. Welcome, Derpy. But thank you all. 600 on the channel. Thought we could have gotten it on Sunday, but we got it now, and now we head into the live stream here coming up on Thursday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. Hopefully we can get well over 600 that night. So welcome you all in here right now. 8 of you in here right now. Numbers still going up. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you have on anything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates, feel free to get those in there. We're kind of stretching it today, talking about off the start, Arthur Smith, being a potential head coach again. We're going to get into some of what the Steelers coaches and players said today in the practice today. And that's, honestly, pretty much going to be it for the main stuff today. We got some extra Pittsburgh sports news as well. But yeah, if you guys, got anything to say, anything on your mind, get those in there. We will get to it at some point here this evening. Thank you again, Flacco, for the $10 contribution right there. We are going to switch gears to the Steelers on a broader topic here. Covered pretty much all there is to talk about Arthur Smith being a potential head coach. Once again, we're now going to get into what more Smith and the other coaches and players had to say before and after practice today. Smith, another big topic that he talked about today, no surprise, said that the jumbo tight end package that the Steelers have now utilized a ton in 2 straight games. From what, Artie has said, Sounds like it is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and for good reason. If it's, working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Smith said that with Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson as the two guys who are the key to that personnel, Smith said it is unique. It's good to see. These guys don't get enough credit for what they're asked to do. So lofty praise for those two guys, from Arthur Smith to his players. Honestly, I love it, and they do. Arthur Smith is right. They do deserve a whole hell of a lot more credit for what they do when they are both out there on the field together. Basically, the Steelers are saying, hey, you see this easily 600-pound duo off the offensive line right here? We're running it right behind them. Good luck stopping it. You know it's coming. Steelers have also used those guys as decoys. They've ran it the other ways a couple of times against the Browns. So Anderson and Washington, they are some massive cogs and gears in the way this offense is ticking right now. Love that from Arthur Smith, giving some love to his guys, specifically Broderick Jones or Darnell Washington. He gave some more praise, said that Washington looks bigger than Troy or Broderick. You put him and Spence together, and good things are going to happen. Laughed throughout that answer. Honestly, let me go here. What does ESPN have Darnell Washington listed as? I'm curious. Let's go here. See if this will load up here. Darnell Washington, according to ESPN, he is, as it loads up here, he's got to be over 300 pounds, but, they have him listed as 6'7", 264 pounds. Yeah, maybe add on what's he at too? Let's go here. Spencer Anderson, he is 6'5", and he is around 300, 320, 305. Okay. So Spencer Anderson and Darnell Washington, a 6'7", 300-pound guy, and a 6'5", 305-pound guy. So 605 pounds of meat and just two giants running your way. Yeah, good luck stopping that. That is going to be used a lot, I feel, again here coming up against the Bengals, especially we're going to get into the injury report here in a second. No Trey Hendrickson again. Yeah, it's going to be Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Caleb Johnson even. He could see a big role. It's on you guys tonight. Go down there, establish the ground game, and this offense might put on a show Thursday night. That's at least what we're hoping for. Also heard from the other coordinator for the Steelers today, defensive coordinator Carol Lawson. Said some glowing reviews of a couple of his players. Derek Harmon, first off, Austin saying he's got a big ceiling. His goal is to be a heck of a football player, and he's on his way. Love that there. I mean, I would hope so. First round pick, big ceiling, but he's showing that he might reach that ceiling before too long. The way that he has just been on a trajectory almost straight up so far this year. Derek Harmon getting, basically a starter right out of the gates to begin his NFL career. It's rare that you see that for the Steelers. He has been everything advertised to be so far up to this point, so I love that. He also spoke today, Harmon himself, saying that he prides himself on doing the dirty work against the run. He said, me personally, I love to stop the run more than getting a sack. I love sacks too, but I get a different type of juice when I'm in that run game. We've talked about it here on the channel before, how Harmon has been impressive despite, his box score not having godly stats. Turns out Harmon, he thinks that way himself. His impact on the game goes beyond what those statistics that you look up on NFL.com or ESPN read at the end of the game. So great to hear that Harmon is doing well and is viewing himself highly, as well as the Steelers coaches viewing him highly. Austin also said that Steelers linebacker Patrick Queen, he is really coming a long way for the Steelers this year. Said that he's really playing fast right now. It really shows. You watch last week and the week before, he just jumps off the film at you with his speed and violence. I mean, no lies detected there. Patrick Queen playing the best. I mean, I know it's a short, 2-year span right now. Patrick Queen, he is playing some of the best football, not just in a Steelers uniform, but maybe of his career right now. I mean, we're talking about maybe getting all-pro votes at this point for Patrick Queen. He has been everywhere, dating back to the Vikings game. His past 2 games have been some of his best in a Steelers uniform. Dare I say, maybe 1 and 2 of his top 3 performances as a Steeler. So Queen, hopefully he can keep it up. Short week here. He's going to be key in making sure that defense is fully prepared for what the Bengals throw at him. Speaking of preparing for the Bengals and what they throw at him, Austin continued saying that there is no chance his guys will overlook Joe Flacco, nor did they overlook Dylan Gabriel. Really, I like that sentence right there, though he should have added one word. He said he should have said there's no chance his guys will overlook Joe Flacco again, because we know that they kind of did that, heading into Indianapolis last year when he was with the Colts. Mike Tomlin, wanted Anthony Richardson to stay in the game. Steelers ended up knocking him out, and in came Flacco and just torched the Steelers for a good chunk of that game. So hopefully Austin and Tomlin and the Steelers defense learn from their mistakes, their sins of the past against Flacco. I'm pretty sure he still scares Tomlin like he's the boogeyman here. And this defense, they're coming into this game producing at a high level right now. We will see, what will win, the Steelers and all the good defense they're playing, or if Flacco is still going to have that group's number from last year. We will see. Last thing Terrell Austin said today, he talked about Jalen Ramsey and sort of reiterating what Tomlin said in his press conference yesterday, saying the acquisition of Jalen Ramsey was specifically for games like this and atop of the teams in the wide receiver units that they were going to compete against, that they wanted to bring guys in for. Bringing in Jalen Ramsey for this game here against the Cincinnati Bengals was at the top of their list. Austin quoting here, the Bengals were absolutely in mind because of the firepower they have on offense. We want to combat that in different ways. It will give us an opportunity to play them a little different than we have in the past. That is very, very obvious because now you got a defensive back group that is fully healthy still, thank goodness. Turns out the injuries to Darius Slay and Brandon Echols, don't think that those were too serious from Sunday, but now you got Echols, Slay, Porter, Ramsey, Deshaun Elliott, Juan Thornhill on the back end. Might mix in a little bit of Chuck Clark and Jabril Peppers in there as well. This is a very diverse, in terms of skill set, DB's room that, you are going to be able to, utilize in different ways and, not just have the bland. All right, so let's go back a year ago now. You had Joey Porter and Dante Jackson? I don't even remember, who was the third Steelers corner last year. You had Porter and you had Dante Jackson. Porter got T. Higgins all game long, and it was not a good game. I think that was the time when Porter had 5 holding penalties, maybe even more. And you had Jackson covering Jamar Chase with other guys. It was just a mess. This year, different story. You got all of those dogs on the back end who have been ball hawks for the past couple of games. Should have had a couple of picks against the Browns, just couldn't wrangle them in. Feel very confident about them being able to shut down or at least limit what T. Higgins and Jamar Chase could do, probably better than any team that the Bengals will have on their schedule this season. And sort of continuing with this, getting into some player comments from today too. Slay, he spoke about the Steelers DB room, sort of gave us a peek behind the curtain there. And I love this quote here. I'm the most laid back one out of all of them. Joey and Jalen are the ones arguing about who's going to get who. I'm like, whoever y'all want, y'all going to get, I'll get the leftovers. So I thought that was hilarious from Slay. And I think that is something that speaks volumes about how competitive, how much more competitive this defensive back room is. Last year, you had Porter as the one, Ellie or Jackson as the two, and whoever below them. This time now, you got some dogs back there, some guys who want the toughest matchup, who are going to compete their asses off to win every single rep. Joey and Jalen, they're arguing amongst themselves. I want Chase. No, I want Chase. You take Higgins. All that good stuff. Love that. And those two, especially Jalen and Joey, eyes are going to be on them on Thursday night, because I've been doing some thinking about myself who I would line them up against. As of right now, I still think that you go across the board right there. You put Jalen on Jamar Chase to start. There's some familiarity there. I mean, even on the biggest stage of them all, the Super Bowl, Jalen and Jamar Chase have done battle, so I'd like to see that. And also, Joey, I hope that him getting put on T. Higgins, if that turns out to be the case, I hope he doesn't take that as some sort of, blight on his ability to cover Jamar Chase. I want to see him go against T. Higgins because I want him to get his lick back. I want him, after that horrendous showing against T. Higgins last year, I want to see Joey go out there and shut him down and show that he has improved covering guys like T. Higgins, and he's not going to take 5 penalties this time. So Jamar against Jalen, Joey against T. I want to see those matchups, in my opinion. If not, then maybe, I don't mean to sort of denigrate. This isn't meant to, to be a slight on Joey and his abilities to cover Jamar Chase one-on-one. If the Steelers, want to do it a different way, you put Jalen on T to start, let him go one-on-one, put him on an island with T. Higgins, let him shut him down, and then you put Joey on Jamar Chase, which, they're both kind of that matchup anyways, and then you give them a little bit of safety help as well from a Juan Thornhill or a Deshaun Elliott, something like that. So definitely we'll talk about it pregame on Thursday night. The wide receiver DB matchups in this game, they are going to be fun to watch. Wrapping up what all went down at Steelers practice today really quickly. DK Metcalf, which I'm hearing now he wants to be called DeKalen more than DK. So he wants to go with his full name, not just the acronym there, DK. So DeKalen Metcalf talked about his AFC North football introduction. He said, I don't want to get into divisional rivalries or anything of that nature, but I mean, it was fun kicking the Browns' ass on Sunday. Love that mindset from Metcalf, not getting, too in the weeds, too emotional in the moment of AFC North ball. That's what then causes you to lose your cool and take penalties that cost your team. But taking some pleasure in beating the Browns' ass. Hopefully he can muster up that similar feeling on Thursday against the Bengals. Broderick Jones, hot topic over the past, I'd say 24 hours now, has been the Steelers field, the field at Acrisure Stadium, and how abysmal it was on Sunday. Jones, he spoke on it kind of like all the other coaches and players, saying that it was kind of rough. Every time I was kicking up a chunk of grass, but you got to play to your advantages. I guess that's why they didn't put down any new grass. So I think that's a rare take from Jones, that maybe that grass was a bit of an advantage for the Steelers going up against pass rushers. So thought that was an interesting take from him. Also, Cam Hayward, he spoke on the grass. He not happy at all with the situation at Acrisure Stadium. He was pissed that it cost him one of his teammates, of course, Miles Killebrew, a non-contact knee injury. He's probably going to be done for the season. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. So Hayward very pissed about the grass pretty much causing Killebrew's injury, and it almost cost another injury in Chris Boswell slipping. And when asked what he can do on it, bluntly said that, nothing he can do about it. He's not a landscaper, but hopefully Acrisure Stadium, we know that they were putting down new grass pretty much immediately after the game on Sunday. Hopefully this grass is not only better, but, managed better than the old grass, because you got the Steelers head coach, Mike Tomlin, their quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers, and the leader of the defense, Cam Hayward, I'm sure amongst many, many other prominent names complaining about it. So Acrisure Stadium, let's figure it out. Talking more here, sort of transitioning here from Cam Hayward to Aaron Rodgers. We did hear from the Steelers quarterback and Hayward having some fun with Rodgers before he started speaking in his media availability. Hayward heckling the quarterback matchup here, calling it the Icy Hot Bowl between Rodgers and Flacco. This is per Elias Sports Bureau. Rodgers versus Flacco. It will be the third time in NFL history that two 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks will start each other. Tom Brady and Drew Brees, they did it twice in 2020. So Hayward calling it the Icy Hot Bowl, finding that very humorous. And Rodgers, he said about the matchup, he thinks it's great for all the old guys, and also talking about his play, specifically said that he is moving around very good right now, which, if you were to go back a month here in some change now, Steelers fans, we would have had a ton of worries about Rodgers and his mobility. But hey, whether it's designed rollouts or scrambling away from pressure in the pocket, Rodgers has moved tremendously better than what any of us could have, expected or hoped for up to this point. Wrapping up here on the Steelers practice itself here today. One big news story, kind of out of practice on the field itself, a return from an injured player, Malik Harrison, Steelers inside linebacker and special teams guy. He last night was designated to return from IR, so his 21-day practice window for him to either be activated off of IR or remain on IR for the rest of the season. That window is now open. Was out there practicing on the field today. Will he play, Thursday? I highly doubt it, but we were talking, I think someone brought it up. One of you in the comment section brought up, what are the Steelers going to do now with Miles Killebrew probably most likely taking a trip to season-ending IR? Well, there's one potential answer right there. You want to take out a core special teams guy in Miles Killebrew. Malik Harrison, he does play some defensive snaps, but he too, I think, like your Connor Haywards, your Carson Bruners, your James Pierres, Ben Skoronix, Malik Harrison, he fits that mold as a core special teams guy that might be able to help fill the shoes a little bit of Miles Killebrew. So him back out there on the field is very encouraging to see. Onto the Steelers injury report today. Gonna share the screen right here so we can take a look at it here together. Steelers injury report for today on Tuesday. You see it right there. Some more resting vets. Jalen Ramsey, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. They did not practice today. They were resting. Same thing with Deshaun Elliott. No worries there. for those guys. Rodgers and Metcalf, who were labeled as resting veterans today, they were full practices. And then some of the other injuries here. Malik Harrison, you see here with the asterisk next to him, limited with his return from his knee injury. Going to take that as a no-go for Thursday night. Anybody less, than a full participant that, is dealing with an injury, I think you can automatically rule them out. They still have Miles Killebrew here. Surprised they, haven't put him on IR yet. And then, of course, Calvin Austin here, too. Shoulder, did not practice. Nothing official yet, but he's as good as out for Thursday night. It was going to be almost impossible for him after not practicing at all last week and missing Sunday's game for him to be up and ready to go for the Bengals. Looking at the Bengals injury report now, right here, Dylan Fairchild, their starting guard, with a knee injury. He was a full go. Mike Gesicki, who is already ruled out by Bengals head coach Zach Taylor, did not practice again with a pectoral injury. He's probably heading to IR. And looking right here, I mean, you got some other guys here who are either full goes with injuries. They'll be in the lineup, or some DNPs here. BJ Hill did not practice. He was resting, but these guys here, Tanner Hudson, backup tight end with a concussion. He did not practice. He'll probably be a game time decision with that. Wide receiver and returner Charlie Jones with a rib injury. He did not practice. He'll probably be out. And this one here, the biggest of them all. See me highlight it right there. Trey Hendrickson, their top defensive player and, sack leader. Hip injury. Did not practice. I believe someone brought up yesterday he was taken out of the game. I think potentially even carted off the sideline. So, yeah, him, DNP, kind of like Calvin Austin. No chance he plays on Thursday night. This is going to be a massive advantage, even more so than, just the Steelers' offense going up against the Bengals' defense already. Now you take Hendrickson out of the equation. Tell me, is there one guy on the Bengals defense who strikes fear into anyone's hearts? I don't see it. So Hendrickson out. Good news there for the Steelers heading into this matchup. We will see how things progress tomorrow. There's going to be one more injury report. It'll be, I think, a simulated injury report, simulated practice, just like yesterday. So we will see who is officially out and questionable for the Steelers and the Bengals then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to get into some extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day here in a moment. But in the meantime, let's go here to the comment section. Get to your guys' comments that you left in the chat while I was going through that segment. Let's go here. Derpy Entertainment. I just want a wide receiver too. Well, Derpy, some good news on that front. Not, actual news, but we can interpret it as good news on a Steelers look for a wide receiver. We will get to here in a couple of moments. Flacco here, kind of good if Arthur Smith moves on, allows a tiny bit better offensive coach. Yeah, I'd be all right with Smith moving on, not because, he's not a good coordinator or anything, but, he came here to Pittsburgh. We kind of knew this from the beginning that he was going to pay his dues here, get the offense going a little bit, hopefully to the likes that it was when he was OC down in Tennessee. And hopefully, now that we finally have a semblance of a competent offense, even long after Arthur Smith is gone, the momentum built up from that we'll be able to carry on. Maybe the Steelers are someone who has learned a lot from Arthur Smith, gets elevated from beneath him if he goes elsewhere, or maybe the Steelers say, hey, we brought in this guy at work. Let's go out and find another former offensive coordinator who had a ton of success and put him in here as our OC and continue elevating this offense. So happy for Arthur Smith if he moves on. Yeah, it'll probably suck in the immediate, looking at the way the Steelers offense is producing right now, but also, good for him getting back into a head coaching gig. Love Mount Washington says Tyrone been saying to use him. This year, Smith has been really good. Only that Pats game. Yeah, the Patriots game was really the only one where the Steelers offense looked kind of sus. But even then, they did enough to win. The defense balled out. I think it's been pretty even. The offense bailed out the defense in week 1. The defense bailed out the offense in week 3 against the Patriots. So all in all, offense and defense, they're pretty level in terms of the way they're playing right now. One unit ain't outproducing the other at this point. Flacco here again. Patrick Queen is great. All that crap people spoke about him first 2 games, he sure proved them wrong. Yeah, like I said yesterday, the way that this defense is producing right now, some guys are playing probably the best football of their careers. Queen, TJ Watt's getting back into an all-pro defensive player of the year form. Cam Hayward is still Cam Hayward. Derek Harmon is a monster as a rookie. Nick Herbig, he is watching quickly the number of millions go up on his next contract. Sean Elliott, he is still Deshaun Elliott. Jalen Ramsey, he is back to an all-pro form after, finally getting the hell out of a hellhole that is the Miami Dolphins. Tons of guys right now just playing at Pro Bowl, all-pro levels. I'd be shocked if you do not see multiple all-pros, assuming that the defense continues, the way that they're playing right now throughout the season. I would be shocked if there aren't like 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers with maybe a couple of all-pros when we have season-ending awards here in a couple of months. Tyrone here. Only thing with Queen, he got to do better with coverage and picks. About in love with PQ. Yeah, that's another thing with Queen that has really quieted down. Remember, through the first 3 weeks of the season, we were talking about, my goodness, the Steelers with tight ends and wide receivers, running across the field. They are getting gashed up the middle right now. It is like a free 8 to 12 or 14-yard gain every single time the opposition throws to the middle of the field. And Patrick Queen, he was a big part of that, dropping back into pass coverage. I think even after the Patriots game, he said that he missed making a couple of those plays. Since that, you haven't seen really anything monstrous given up to the middle of the field by the Steelers defense. Queen is a part of that. We want to backtrack it here to training camp a little bit. Remember, Queen, he, for like the first 2 or 3 days of practice, was picking off Rodgers at least once. And we were like, all right, what the hell happened to that? What he did in practice in the preseason, picking off Rodgers' throws over the middle, then became a problem, as the regular season started. Now they're back to at least being able to stop that with regularity. Maybe he now starts developing those picks that you mentioned there, Tyrone. We'll see. Guys bringing up Beanie Bishop here in the comment. Like Beanie, but hey, he's not as solid. Beanie Bishop, I mean, kind of rare we talk about a practice squad guy like that, but right now, I mean, I don't see any way that he's getting elevated. Would have to take a long-term injury for someone to go down. I mean, the closest we've gotten to seeing Beanie Bishop was if Jalen Ramsey was not going to be able to go against the Browns. So, Beanie is he'll be suitable for a guy coming up off the practice squad to use in a pinch, but as a regular starter, not really. I mean, he's down there on the practice squad for a reason. You guys getting into some of the wide receiver corner matchups for Thursday night. Ramsey versus Chase, JPJ versus Higgins, Slay in there as well, and Eccles been clutch. That's, the matchup I'm going with right now. Ramsey versus Chase, familiarity there. Ramsey might know some of his tendencies. Shut down Chase in the Super Bowl. I can't remember. Was it T. Higgins or Jamar Chase that had that no call offensive face mask in the Super Bowl that resulted in the touchdown. Other than that one play, which it literally took a penalty for them to beat Ramsey, Ramsey was shutting down both of those men in that game. So him going up against Chase, big dog on big dog once again, I would love to see that. And yeah, Joey getting some revenge on Higgins for having an absolutely horrid game in Cincinnati last year. That's the matchup I want to see. And you rotate in Slay and Eccles. Slay said, hey, whoever you guys don't get, I'll get the leftovers. If you rotate in those guys every now and again to give Ramsey maybe a chance to rotate around the secondary and Higgins and JPJ a chance to switch back and forth between those two guys, I'd be all right with it. I wish Beanie the best dude tried hard. Yeah, Beanie Bishop did try hard. He put on a hell of a preseason, and unfortunately, it came down to special teams. Quite honestly, thinking back to the preseason here, Beanie put up a hell of a performance against the Jaguars, and he was pretty rock steady for the rest of the other two preseason games. And it came down to special teams. Beanie's not really that special team savvy. That's what led to guys like James Pierre making the roster over him. So unfortunately, Beanie being a suitable slot can't be a one-trick pony in the NFL, and that's what landed him on the practice squad. Let's go here. Why can we call him DK? He's a drift king of wide receivers. Yeah, I don't know. I heard that on 93.7 The Fan that he wants to be called the Kalen now, going by his full name instead of just the two words right there. So I don't know. We'll call him still call him DK. I mean, that's just force of habit there. But try to call him the Kalen if that's really what he wants here. Chase said in the beginning of the season his top 5 DBs to face J Ram or JPJ, Slay, Stingley. That's 3 Steelers right there. Yep. And I hope that is a good sign of things to come here for the Steelers. I mean, is Slay what he once was? No, but I mean, still, he's had tons of experience against Jamar Chase since he's been in the league. Ramsey mono on Chase a bunch, and JPJ interdivision sees those guys twice a year. Familiarity will be key here in how the Steelers compete against these two great wide receivers here. So love that, and here's to them hopefully having a ton of success against those two here on Thursday. And that would have been, I would have been saying all this regardless of whether Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco was throwing them the ball. I think this game's going to be won or lost by how these corners do against those two guys. To the comments here, Hendrickson, no Trey Hendrickson in practice today for the Bengals. That is a massive blow to him because it's looking like he's going to be out. He never mentioned Sauce or Surtain. Yeah, I think, also that could be, maybe just some unfamiliarity with them. I mean, Bengals haven't really played the Jets all that much. And, I think he didn't mention Sauce because of, was it inner draft class competitiveness right there. And Surtain, way out there in Denver. I think it's also been pretty rare that the Bengals have met up with the Broncos as well. So, interesting that he didn't choose those guys as well there, Flacco, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news of the day here in a moment. Real quick, let's just go here to the old Twitter timeline and see if we have any new news that has popped up since we have gone live. Looking here, seeing more posts of DK Metcalf today. Another crazy stat, I'll be sure to bring this up pre-game Thursday night. We talked about how Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers is the third time that quarterbacks of 40 years old or more have met up in a head-to-head matchup. The combined age between those two, 81 years old. Crazy. No, would not have expected this. Well, I mean, we could have expected it, preseason here, but not in this way. Not with, Bengals and Steelers. We would have thought before the season we would have gotten this matchup over the weekend against the Browns, but they found a way to meet each other. Seeing a video here, we do have a tiny bit of Pirates news here in the extra sports news segment today. Looking, there is some baseball going on other than the MLB playoffs. Some foreign leagues going on that MLB players play in to, stay in shape over the winter. Esmeralyn Valdez, Pirates number 15 prospect in the AFL Baseball League, hitting his third home run so far in that season. He has been on an absolute tear right now. Be on the lookout for that kid as one of the fantastic Penguins prospects right now. We do have this. This here is just kind of breaking news 2 minutes ago here from Allen Saunders. The Steelers today hosting former Colts and 49ers safety and all-pro special teamer George Odom for a free agent visit today. So George Odom, a fantastic special teamer with the 49ers. He in the Steelers building today, and as Sanders says here, was about to bring that up. Miles Killebrew out with a significant knee injury potentially. That could be his replacement. So there's another look at who could be coming to help the Steelers. I'd be all right with Odom, honestly. He's still a free agent for a reason. I get that, but in terms of having a guy who could be contribute more on defense, unlike Miles Killebrew, I like Odom more than that there. So them bringing in George Odom, hell yeah, love that right there. We are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news on that front and still talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Mentioned earlier, Bruce Arians today was on the what's going on with Pittsburgh in the offense right now. He, just like I'm sure a good buddy of his, Mike Tomlin, thinking similarly about the Browns trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals. He said that is total BS. If you're going to trade a quarterback, trade him outside of the division. So Arians, Tomlin, seems like everyone associated with the AFC North, and maybe, football as on a broader scale here, they're all looking at the Browns and Andrew Berry like, the hell are you doing? Like, that was the dumbest stuff that's like almost ever been done in the NFL. But hey, the Browns making dumb moves. I mean, who's really shocked? A certain, most horrible trade in the history of sports in giving $250 million to a dude with 24 or at least, 24, 26 different allegations. That's as Browns get right there. So everyone confused about that trade there. If Flacco, though, let's just say that the Browns were a competent team and they didn't make that trade, sending good old Joe Montebrow to the Bengals. Who would have the Bengals gone for a quarterback in spite of Jake Browning? There's a rumor put out there last night that the Bengals called to check in on retired quarterback Derek Carr before they traded for Flacco. So Derek Carr, the former Raider, the former New Orleans Saint, who just retired over the offseason due to health reasons, the Bengals called him to potentially be a quarterback from them, which makes tons of sense because the Bengals, with absolutely no offensive line that got Joe Burrow destroyed, let's call a guy who had just as many, if not more, problems staying healthy behind crap O-lines. He's had experience playing behind guys who can't block for him. Let's give him a call. let him come here for 2 games and then go back into retirement. So that made all the sense in the world there for the Bengals, drinking the stupid juice in terms of roster moves there in Ohio. Good news for Derpy here. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette putting out there today that he wouldn't call it likely that the Steelers trade for a wide receiver. Now, you probably look at me and wonder, all right, you just said it was good news. Why is Dulac saying that the Steelers probably aren't going to get one? That's because Dulac, he is quickly drawing a stigma amongst the fan base right now of whatever he says, the opposite happens, kind of like Andrew Filipponi at 93.7 The Fan. So Dulac, he said that Jalen Ramsey would be out multiple games with his hamstring injury. Boom, Ramsey is back in there against the Browns this weekend. I'm sure Dulac has said some other stuff earlier this year, that has blown up in his face, and now the Steelers fans, they're hopping on this one thinking, all right, Dulac says it isn't going to happen. Steelers, they are getting a wide receiver too here soon. One guy who will not be that, however, we mentioned him, I think, last week, Treylon Burks, Titans wide receiver who got cut after dealing with an injury so far this season. He is taking a free agent visit with the Broncos, and he did, past tense here, take a free agent visit with the Broncos. Now he's going to go visit with the Washington Commanders as well. So that there is not going to happen. Last couple of extra bits of news here on the Steelers for today. This relating to their AFC North opponents. The Ravens last week made a handful of moves, bringing in some help at safety. They traded for Alohi Gilman from the LA Chargers, and they also signed to the practice squad safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, CJGJ. Now, CJGJ probably the most noteworthy name of the transactions they made. Now he's back out there on the market again. He wanted to go and find a clearer path for Gardner-Johnson to play. Moving from the Browns to the moving from the Ravens to the Browns here. Another retirement today from football. David Bell, second round pick or third round pick from the Browns, I believe back in 2022. I can't remember, was he Michigan? I think he was Michigan or Georgia, one of those two schools. David Bell played at. I remember him fondly coming out of the draft. Anyways, he retiring from football today, said in his retirement post that several months ago he was blindsided by an off-field injury that was beyond his control. Said that he would be risking life and limb, literally, to continue playing football. So, sucks for him. Thoughts and prayers with him and best of luck in his future endeavors. But he retiring from football, and also thoughts and prayers to the Doug Lebda family this year from Steelers Depot. Doug Ledba, Steelers minority owner and Lending Tree CEO, was killed in an ATV accident over the weekend. So thoughts and prayers to them. Moving on here to the other two professional sports teams in Pittsburgh, besides the Steelers, real quick. Turns out, had a false start, 5-yard penalty last night. Could have swore that the Penguins were playing the Anaheim Ducks last night. Turns out I was wrong in that. Did not read the schedule right. Now tonight, the Pens and Ducks will do battle at 10:30 puck drop. So get your late evening coffees in, ladies and gentlemen. Pens and Ducks doing battle later tonight. No news on a starting goaltender or who may or may not be in the lineup tonight. So We will see. There were some interesting things from yesterday's skate for the Pens where Chris Letang and Harrison Brunick, they were paired together on a D pairing. Letang working back after he exited Saturday's game against the Rangers early. Him and Brunick together as a pairing. That'd be very, very interesting for me. And also tonight, cool story. It is the return of new Penguins assistant coach Mike Stouthers. He, a member of the Ducks organization for some time, had a bit battle with cancer while he was out there in Anaheim. So I'm sure this will be a emotional return for him tonight. Wrapping up the day of news here with some Pittsburgh Pirates news. Talking about Pirate prospects or just prospects in general. This year from Cody Duncan, who does some work for Fans First Sportsnet, writes on the Pirates. He said that the Bucks right now are in the lead, or they are in line to sign one of the highest ranked international free agents this winter, outfielder John Ser Custodio, the 7th overall international prospect on MLB Pipeline's top 50. His first profile, a hit grade of 65 out of 80, which is well above average, and a power grade of 55, which is, I think, slightly above average. So the Pirates apparently going big fish hunting on the international prospect market. Wouldn't expect them to do anything else. That's apparently the only thing they are aggressive at in terms of bringing in players during the offseason, international free agents, and then developing them is a whole nother can of worms. Didn't mean to get down in the dumps here on the Pirates, but that was kind of where we were heading anyway. Last night, something cool. Fans I didn't know that this was a yearly tradition. Pirates fans gathering around the Forbes Field wall in Oakland to celebrate the anniversary of Bill Mazeroski's iconic walk-off home run in Game 7 of the 1960 World Series. Fans gathering around there where the wall is. There's a scoreboard popped up there as well. Pretty decent-sized crowd there. They listened to the radio broadcast of that game, so that's cool that, fans are still remembering one of the greatest home runs in baseball history. And also it reminds us of how sad we are. We'll still, Pirates fans, I'm sure, do that, every year celebrating Maz's home run. But still a shame that we are only left to celebrating stuff like that you and I and everyone else who comes across this, most likely, we weren't even born yet when that moment happened. And fans today are still forced to hang on to that memory. Last thing here, one guy who's a part of some success during those old Pirates days. Happy birthday to Al Oliver. He got inducted into the Pirates Hall of Fame this year, and now he celebrates his birthday. So congratulations to him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to the comment section here. Real quick before we log off here for the evening. Tyrone in the comments section again here. Might be a breakout game for DK Metcalf. Telling me he hasn't had a breakout game already. I mean, dude's caught a touchdown in all but one game this year, but I believe, wasn't it you, Tyrone, or someone brought up last night, could be in for a 2-touchdown performance for DK. I mean, if you're going up against a Bengals team where the secondary is what it is, and now the pass rush for the Bengals has been diminished a bit without Trey Hendrickson. Rodgers, if he has all day to throw back there, you might see Metcalf go for, over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He might get into the end zone 3 times the way things are going right now. But hey, we will keep in mind that this still is a professional NFL team. Let's not take the Bengals lightly here. They're going to be out their top guy. Let's just, take it like the Browns are. We'll go in cautiously optimistic. Just go in, get out with the wind. Get out with the win. Don't take these guys lightly here. Tyrone saying good news on the Steelers bringing in George Odom for a visit. Be okay, quite okay if they end up signing him. Lance 33, what up, Brady? Shout out from Mon Valley. Welcome, Lance. Watching from the Mon here this evening. Freight Train. Quite crazy there, Freight Train. Hopefully your travels are going smoothly. Congratulations on 600 subscribers. Thank you, Freight Train. Couldn't have done it without each and every one of you here tonight that have hit the subscribe button up until this point. Just like Lance says right here, never take a team with Chase and Higgins lightly. Absolutely not. Like I said, we just talked in depth a good bit tonight about Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr. and the rest of the DBs going up against Chase and Higgins. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, or Joe Dirt back there throwing him the ball. They are still going to be dangerous. Hopefully just as much as those guys covering Chase and Higgins. I think the Steelers are in a better position than years past to compete against those two Maseratis at the wide receiver position. The Steelers pass rush, they still got to keep doing what they're doing. Get to Joe Flacco, get in his head, pressure him. That will force him to make mistakes and help out the DBs. That's probably going to be a big matchup as well. Okay, going to take one last stroll here through Twitter for tonight before we log off and go our separate ways before we meet back here tomorrow night for one final look at the game coming up Thursday night. Seeing more videos here of the Pirates fans gathering. I didn't even, go to the comment sections on some of these posts. You can imagine what they are like. Sure, very positive and cheery. Looking here, the Steelers releasing their Week 7 depth chart against the Bengals. Just taking a quick skim here. Doesn't look like there's anything of note here except for one. Looking here at kickoff return, I know it was Kenneth Gainwell and Keyshawn Williams doing the returning against the Browns, but they still have Caleb Johnson as the number 2 return specialist. So I wonder if that is new or something changed there. Could maybe see Caleb Johnson back out there returning kicks. We will see. Other than that, looking here, I'm not seeing too much new things. I mean, they still have Calvin Austin as the WR2 with Metcalf, Roman Wilson as a number 3 with Scotty Miller there as well. Still in Orr between Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Those two productions have been underwhelming to say the least so far. Darnell Washington as the other starting tight end. So thought that was interesting to take a look at ahead of tomorrow night. They need to turn them loose on Flacco all night. Yeah, from, snap 1 of the game to the end, I'm sending the house at Flacco. He's going to be probably, I'm guaranteeing you at this point, after watching Rodgers, Flacco is more immobile than Aaron Rodgers is. So you got to sit and target back there against at best mediocre offensive line. I'm sending pressure their way, to start the game, and then if the Bengals figure that out, then hey, I'm still certain you can win with 4. Just send the Highsmith, Watt, Hayward, Harmon crew at them. Let those guys go to work, drop everyone else into coverage, help cover up the space that Higgins and Chase are going to try to create. That'll work into the Steelers' advantage as well. Defense, against that offense, I'm feeling optimistic, cautiously optimistic. We got to prepare for anything here. Let's not get too highs with the highs, too lows with the lows here on either side of the ball. I think that is going to wrap it up for the night here. Ladies and gentlemen, interesting. I got ESPN on beside me here, and haven't paid attention to it at all so far tonight. Apparently, it's not too early to start looking ahead to the draft. Mel Kiper with ESPN putting out his first big board for the 2026 draft, and the top quarterback in the class that he has. And this guy, he's probably at the top of my list right now, and hopefully if the Steelers are still, have their hearts set on taking a quarterback first round, it'd be this guy, Dante Moore, Oregon QB. 72 completion percentage this season, 9th in the FBS. Of course, Oregon, powerhouse right now in college football, except for, the Indiana game over the weekend. Number 3 on his list, a guy who's shot up the draft boards probably higher than anyone else this year, Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana QB. See, that I'm kind of worried about that. I'm worried about falling into another, Kenny Pickett trap where, other quarterbacks stumble and one guy or two guys shoot up the draft boards like crazy the year they come out. I'm worried about them being a one-hit wonder. I much more go with Dante Moore. I think he's the more accomplished of those two guys, but we'll see. Long way away there from the draft, but I'm sure leading up to it, we will talk about quarterbacks a ton and see what the Steelers are going to do there. I think that's going to wrap things up here for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank you for joining me here on the Tuesday. You guys helped carry the show here this evening for an hour and 15 minutes. I appreciate that. Probably going to be looking for you guys similarly tomorrow night. We will talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and how they do tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, and we will talk about the Steelers' final injury report. But hey, keep on coming back. Keep those comments and questions coming this way. Love when you guys do that. Last comment here of the night here for Tyrone. We got to be in Flacco's face all game long with that O-line and our D-line. Don't see less than 5 sacks. I would love nothing more than to have another 5-sack performance. As a matter of fact, we're setting the bar at that. That's the bar, the bare minimum. This defense against that offensive line. I mean, the Browns' offensive line, I think, it's still bad, but better than the Bengals, at least on paper. So the Steelers and that pass rush, the way that they are just feasting right now, would love to see 5 sacks again. Hopefully we get to see that. Maybe a strip or two in there. Get that ball loose from Joe Flacco. That's going to do it here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining me once again, and thank you all for helping the channel reach 600 subscribers one last time. I appreciate you all of you who come in, whether it's, at the start of the stream, the end of the stream, and catch on up, whether you come in for one comment, one question here, or multiple throughout the show. Appreciate you all. Help the channel grow to 600 subscribers, and we're still going up here. So let's keep it going here. Next stop, 700. After that, 750 will be 3/4 of a way to 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. So I want to thank you all for that. One last time, subscribe to the channel. Share this live stream. Leave a comment in the comment section after the fact. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. And come back later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night. Back here tomorrow, recapping the Pens, talking more about the Steelers ahead of Thursday night's matchup with the Bengals. Peace.